There are many wonderful benefits to reading and studying God's Word daily, but one great help is the way it will keep us away from sin. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Thursday. We all struggle with the temptations to sin. It is actually a part of our sinful nature given to us at birth. So rather than trying to fight against sin with our own willpower, we need to turn to God. We know His Holy Spirit is guiding and protecting us as He lives within each believer, but we probably need a booster to help us overcome the temptations to sin. That's why the psalmist says in Psalm 119, verse 10, "With my whole heart I have sought you. Oh, let me not wander from your commandments. Your word I have hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against you." It seems like the psalmist is on the right track here when he speaks about seeking God with his whole heart. I mean, after all, this is the first and the greatest commandment according to Jesus Christ. He said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength." The psalmist's prayer is also noteworthy when he says, "Oh, let me not wander from your commandments." You know, we know the rules. We know the guide that God's word gives us, but it's often difficult for us to follow that path. So he prays the earnest prayer, "Don't let me wander or stray away from what I know is right in my heart and my life." His solution from wandering or straying is, "Your word have I hidden in my heart." I personally believe this is so much more than just reading a verse a day or maybe reading a page from a devotional book. I really think that we need to know what direction God has for our lives through His word. I don't believe His commandments are actually hidden in some sort of code that's difficult to decipher. I just think when we're not engrossed with God's word, we find it too easy to stray away. That's why He is determined to hide God's word in His heart. Now, we're not talking about that blood-pumping, beating organ that's in your chest. The heart in this passage is actually referring to the center of our emotions, actually the mainframe of our will where all those tough decisions are made every day. And hiding God's word there begins with reading it, but there needs to be so much more effort to tuck it away into the recesses of our brain and our heart. That's why I believe that meditation is the key to hiding God's word away. Perhaps we need to begin a plan of memorizing verses that we can quickly recall to mind, especially verses that remind us that God will never leave us nor forsake us. Or like 1 Corinthians 10:13 that says, "No temptation has overtaken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you're able, but will with that temptation make the way of escape that you may be able to bear it." You see, by memorizing God's word and meditating on it regularly, we will have hidden it in our hearts and we will have a remedy against falling prey to the sins that Satan puts in our path. Psalm 119 and verse 9 says, "How can a young man cleanse his way?" And the answer is that by taking heed according to your word. It is so important that we spend time in God's word, reading and meditating to overcome the sin that so easily besets us.